Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to discuss about the concept of free space optical networks. So, in this modern world and in upcoming future also, this free space optical network is going to plays an very important role in communication. So, what is mean by an free space optical communication means we are going to transmit the signal in forms of light, and that light signal should not affect our eye also. So here the free space optical communication means we are going to transmit in an outer space or in the air in terms of light signal for making and communication. So here it is basically classified into two types. One is about LED transmitter and another one is about laser transmitter. In LED transmitter, it is used mainly for the short range of communication and it provides us the incoherent light. And while going for the laser transmitter, it can be used for the long range communication and it also produces the coherent light. So here in this free space optics, the transmitter and the receiver should be in a line of sight propagation for making an fiberless laser drive technology, which is able to support up to 1 gigabits per second ethernet, and the distance between the transmitter and the receiver should be a 5 kilometer, and which is operating at the wavelength of 780 nanometer to 900 nanometer, or 1500 nanometer to 1600 nanometers. Why, what is the need we are moving for free space optics means it is one of the best alternative way. Why? Because means in order to make an satellite communication, or while we are in the flight, we want to make in a communication means at the time it won't we can't able to make a proper communication at those points. So this FSO can be implemented at any time based on the demand by the users. It can be easily deployed. It will play a major role in the military applications. And here why we are choosing this FSO means in order to increase in ordering of increasing the demand of the users, the high bandwidth metro networks should be implemented, and also the things like digging, delaying for implementing the fibers, and also making and fiber communication underground. So all those things will not be needed while we are moving for FSO concept. And another very important thing is RF based network is required to make an spectral it does not need any spectrum license. It is free from license. It can be implemented anywhere at any time based on the demand of the users. And the working of this FSO is given in 5 steps. So initially the network traffic should be converted the pulses in terms of invisible light, in terms of ones and zeros. So our input is in terms of electrical signal that should be converted into a light. After that the light should be converted into the digital concept, ones and zeros. After converting, it should be transmitted carefully in an medium called air, and after that the signal is received. The both the transmitter and the receiver placed in a line of sight, and the receiver at another end of the link will collect that light lens using any lenses or the mirrors. After receiving that, it is again converting back. After that conversion, this reverse direction of data transparency will be takes place, like the digital will be again converted back to the light signals. This is the block diagram of the free space optics. So initially the sources are giving the input. So the input may be in any form. So that input is going to the modulator. We have already discussed about the concept of modulator. Modulator, it is superimposition of the superimposing the low frequency modulating signal with a high frequency carrier signal to making an long distance communication. So after that, it is passing through the driver. So where it is converted to an where the signal is converted as an light. After converting, it is going to the laser diode, and then it is going to the transmit optics, where it is transmitting in terms of the pulse in the atmospheric channel. After receiving, the reverse process will be carried out in this free space optics. So here already I have described this. The source is the data we are transmitting, and modulator is going to superimpose with the carrier signals, and a laser drive is going to convert from one form of signal to another form, and a photo detector is again converting the light signal into an electricity or a voltage, and amplifier is used to amplify or strengthen the signal which is received at the receiver range. uh, and the basic differences between the LED and laser is listed here. The differences, LED is used for short range communication and the laser is used for long range communication. So LED is a non-coherent and laser is coherent, and when comparing to the LED, a laser is providing the bandwidth of 10 gigahertz, and the eye safety is very very important while we are making a light as a source for a communication. And LED is preferred only for the indoor applications, and laser is for all practical outdoor applications. And LED is having the optical power output, and here laser is implementing in the FSO system, which requires the laser for making an communications data. So here the ranges of wavelength which is used by the FSO is three things. One is about 780 to 850 nanometer, so it is suitable for the FSO operation and also to provide the high power lasers in this region. And while we are going for the wavelength of 1520 nanometer to 1600 nanometer, high quality transmitter is used, and also to detect the components which is readily available, but it is more expensive and the detectors are less sensitive. So when we are going to the 10,000 nanometers, it is relatively new to the commercial FSO arena, which is being developed because of claiming the better fog transmission characteristics. Why? Because we are going for the FSO concept. Here it is providing a lot of advantages. Only when disadvantages is in this thing is the natural calamities. Due to those natural calamities, the signal may get affected and the strength of the signal may get degraded. And the challenges faced due to the environmental factors or window attenuating and alignment due to the buildings or due to the natural calamities, so like rain, all those things and all, it will attenuate, it will degrade the strength of the signals which is transmitting from the receiver to the transmitter to the receiver. And the first one is about the issues we are facing in this air medium is obstruction. So that is the path that is present in the path, like buildings, big buildings, mountains, trees, all those things. Fog means we already know, due to rain or due to the water droplet and ice. So these fog may affect the signal strength. So due to that, absorption and scattering of the optical signals due to this airborne particles, and can result in the complete outage, and it can be elevated by using a shortening link distance and adding new redundancies. When we are going to the sun stations, heated air arises from the earth or man-made devices which creates the temperature. Due to the increasing the temperature also, the signal may get affected, so which will be results in the beam spreading and wandering, and also almost mutually exclusive with the fog attenuation, and results is increased error rate but not complete outage. And also the buildings or seismic activities also may affect the signals. And what are the challenges we are facing while implementing this free space optics? Already I've described about these things like fog, absorption, scattering, all those things and all. So the signal may get affected due to these challenges. Due to this external natural calamities or the mainly things affecting the signal while we are transmitting from the transmitter to the receiver. So we have to take in care about these four important parameters to get a better results while implementing it. So the major advantages provided by the FSO is the installation cost is very low when comparing to the fibers, and we can able to deploy it whenever we need it, and also very high secure transmission, and no regulations or no spectrum, no requisition to allow the spectrum. It is an unregulated spectrum, and the consumption of power will be less, and it can be easily installed, as I said before. And it is free from license also, and it is immunity to withstand the electromagnetic interference also. It can able to withstand it. So the major disadvantages are it will launch a high power which affects a very high hazard, and also the physical obstruction and atmospheric barriers. So due to these things, the signal may get affected. So these parameters have to be considered for implementing the FSO in the future generations of mobile technologies. So the factors we need to consider and have to take in care and overcome those parameters, then this FSO will plays a very important role in the upcoming mobile generation technologies. So few applications involved in FSO are metro area network, last mile access, entrepreneurs connectivity, fiber feedback, backup, so CCTV, video conferencing. So all these are the applications involved in the FSO, and here the FSO is compared with the other technologies to say its own advantages based on the parameters like speed, installation cost, and maintenance difficulty. So this tabulation will elaborate you by comparing the FSO with the other technologies like coaxial cable, satellite, and fiber cables. It will providing a very good results. So that's all about the concept of free space optics. We will discuss about the concept of Li-Fi technology in the next video. Thank you.